we have a very special guest today. Here is Isabel from the account Simon Sits. How are you today, Isabel?
I am excellent. Great way to start my week. It is Monday morning, bright and early.
I love it. And this is the Foster Queen, by the way. Foster Queen.
What?
Queen. Foster Queen.
Oh, I was like, what?
Kween. Come on, Galen. Get with it. It's like
okay,
Gen Z stuff.
It's fine.
Trying to fit in. I'm trying to fit in. We love your account and we love your message. And we would just love to hear about how you not only got started with Simon's account, but also how you got started in the world of fostering, because it's such an incredible and rewarding world.
Yeah. And we
I would
both
love to.
have very not foster adopted dogs, which don't hate on us.
No shame in it. I'll start with the fostering because that actually came before Simon, which a lot of people don't realize.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, Simon was a foster fail.
He was?
Yeah. So I started fostering. I would love to say that I started fostering out of the goodness of my heart, but that's not really the entire truth. I was dog obsessed, always been dog obsessed. I was working in the dog world for many years and I really wanted a dog of my own, but I was 24 and I was broke and I had no money and I couldn't afford a dog. So I was like, I'm just going to foster a dog. And I didn't really do any research. I kind of just went with like the first rescue that I heard of. When they were like, what kind of dog do you want? I'm like, I'll take a puppy. Like I'll take a Australian Shepherd mixed puppy. Like it's literally insane. I would never do that now. No shame to Australian Shepherds, but they're crazy.
No, I could never.
Yeah. I could absolutely never.
Props to whoever has an Australian Shepherd puppy in New York City, especially.
No, craziest decision. That was my first foster dog. And I think he was like an Australian Shepherd, like cattle dog mix, which is even crazier.
Yeah,
insane.
It's a death sentence.
So I did that, and it was like kind of a harrowing experience. But I loved him, but it was really difficult. But I just kind of like got addicted to it. And it was like, as soon as he got adopted, I was like, I want another one. So then I got another one and I fostered, I think like 5 dogs before eventually I fostered Simon, and that was a foster fail. And then
does foster fail mean you adopted him?
Yes. So foster fail in the rescue world means that you fail to foster and you end up adopting the dog. So I ended up adopting.
It's kind of sad that it's phrased that way. I mean, I totally get it that the purpose is to keep dogs in your home to get adopted, but it's like it's not a failure. He's now your baby.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a negative connotation, but I feel like most people. I mean, to be fair, like most rescues don't want you to adopt the dog. Like most rescues are so desperate for fosters that they really want, because there's some crazy statistic that like once you adopt a dog, if you're a foster, if you adopt a dog, you don't foster anymore because
that makes sense.
Like it's just hard. It's hard to, like, a lot of dogs don't like other dogs in their space, and like totally understandable, but which is what happened to us. So I adopted Simon and I didn't foster for 5 years. And that was because 1 month into having Simon, he had his first grand mal seizure and he was diagnosed with epilepsy. And that started a multi-year journey of like, there's a
medically complex journey.
Yeah. So expensive. He was having at one point seizures every single day.
Wow.
Just like really difficult. Definitely didn't have time to foster. And then finally we got it under control. I moved to this apartment that I'm sitting in right now, and it has a big backyard. And my landlord is like the only landlord in New York City that loves dogs. She has 3 Cocker Spaniels. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try fostering again. So about a little over a year ago, I got my 6th foster dog, but first in many, many years. And it just like changed my life. Like it really did. This time around, it was just like, I was sharing it on social media. Simon loved it. Simon was so great at it. I loved it. My boyfriend loved it, and it just like fell into place. So it's been great. It's been really wonderful.
We talked about it on another episode, just the importance of if you do start getting dogs with a partner, how it really is important how invested they are in it with you, because it would be so difficult if he wasn't into it, or you guys had challenges in your own relationship, not even dog related, but he's on board with you, and that probably makes it so much easier. So I know a lot about your relationship journeys too.
Yeah.
In her book, which we'll talk about too. But yeah, that's a significant part, I'm sure, that it feels like support from him, because you're bringing in these dogs. If you did it by yourself, it'd be so challenging.
Definitely. And Jacob's a huge part of it. I was just joking yesterday, actually, that like anytime I need a boost in engagement, I post a video of Jacob, because everyone loves Jacob. Like all my followers love Jacob. Everyone who meets him loves Jacob. Like he's just like, he really is the best guy ever. He's just so nice and so kind. And before I met him, he told me, he was like, I was like very strict. Like I didn't want to date a girl with a dog, because it's obviously complicates things. It's like, you can't go traveling as often. You can't like, it's just like makes it much harder. And then he found me, and it's like, you date a girl with 1,000
oh my God,
dogs.
And you opened his eyes, and he's in love.
But I will say he's always been a dog person. His parents have 3 humongous rescue dogs. So it's not that he didn't love dogs. It was just like, he was like, I'm young. I want to be able to like pick up and go. And
that's totally valid too.
It's totally valid. But he didn't get that. So
I mean, hey, listen, my fiance, Ben, literally, he never had a dog in his life. I grew up with huge dogs my whole life, and we were dating, and I was like, oh, if you're not going to get a dog with me, then like, this isn't going to work out. That was also like 5 years in, and he was like, wait, what? So now here we are with a 50-pound dog in our 1-bedroom New York City apartment, and he wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, I get what you're saying, where, you know, sometimes your partner comes in with the relationship and they're like, oh, I have certain expectations, and you're like, nah, just fucking kidding. But no, I mean, I think with fostering, so before I got Lumi, I lived in Seattle, and we had actually, Galen, I don't even know if I ever told you this, but we actually signed up with a Seattle rescue, and we were going to foster a dog. And this was when it was like
before Lumi,
like a year before Lumi. And then my job just ended up, the hours were not regular, and then we actually ended up getting Lumi and basically saying like, I don't know if we can foster a dog and train a puppy at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up moving out of Seattle, so it just never lined up. But I remember like we literally had signed up with the Seattle rescue group, and we were going to foster this dog. I think his name was like literally Bob. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I think that was his name. And then like we ended up like getting Lumi, and he was like a 9-week-old fucking terror. But yeah, I mean, I guess also, Isabel, what if people want to foster, what should they do? And if they don't know anything about it, you know, like how do you think they should like educate themselves, take first steps?
I definitely think that doing research beforehand is important. There are a lot of rescues that are kind of sketchy, for lack of a better word. Just like, you know, it's the same. There are a ton of breeders that are sketchy. Like, you have to do your research. You have to, you know, look them up on social media, look them up on like Reddit, like places where you're not going to like see the most glowing responses necessarily. I work with Muddy Paws Rescue primarily. I work with other rescues as well, but I mostly foster through Muddy Paws. They're amazing. And I pull a lot of dogs from the ACC, which is New York City's municipal shelter, which is like my passion and like the thing that I care about the most. And research is important. Having proper expectations, I think, is really important. I think a lot of people think that, and this is the same as like dog ownership, but like they think that they're just going to like get a dog and it's going to be super easy. And like, it's a living creature and you have to take care of it. And there's going to be a transitional time and the dog might be frightened or crazy or not potty trained, or like there are all these things that could possibly go wrong and you really have to love it.
I mean, you had a foster dog, Twinkle, who was frightened at first, and he ended up being absolutely incredible. Not that he was never gonna, but like there's definitely that warm up period where I feel like people probably forget. They're like, oh, I'm adopting an adult, or not adopting. I'm fostering an adult dog who I'm sure will be potty trained, know how to walk. Like they just, forget, which is obviously not people's fault. But yeah, that's huge misconception.
Yeah. I think people need to like have proper expectations of like what they're getting into. Also, to circle back to my first fostering like a little crazy puppy, it's like everyone's like, oh, I want a puppy. I take it from a seasoned foster. I will not foster puppies. Like a lot of people can do. A lot of people love it. I will not do it. Like I will do it if I need to, but if I have a choice, I will always choose a senior dog or an adult dog. Like people think that they want the cute puppy. Puppies are really hard, obviously. So just having proper expectations and then just being patient. Like I think patience is the most important thing. I think again, like piggybacking off of what I just said, people want a dog and they have an expectation of like what it's going to be like. They're like, I'm going to take this dog to the coffee shop. I'm going to take it to the dog park. Like and it's like, you have to go at this dog's pace. Like Twinkle, the dog that you just mentioned, had the highest behavioral rating at the ACC, and I had to take it at his pace. Like he let me know when it was okay for me to touch him. He let me know when it was okay for me to pick him up. He let me know when he wanted to play with Simon for the first time. Like it was like day by day, and I went at his pace, and you gain that trust. And like it's not going to be overnight. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 3 months. Like you never know how long it's going to take, and just allowing the dog to go at their own pace is so important. I won't say most foster dogs or most rescue dogs have trauma, because it's actually not true, but I take really difficult dogs most of the time. My current foster dog is super easy, but I like taking dogs that have been either like medical cases or behavioral cases or in really difficult situations. So yeah, it's like learning that dog, learning their quirks, learning their boundaries. Like that's all part of the process.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see a lot of other rescues on TikTok. How amazing dogs in general across the board, they can be through the worst hell ever. And they're still just so sweet. And all your foster dogs, I feel like, yes, they have, a little bit hesitation when they first meet you, but they warm up to you and Simon so quickly. I think it's just like,
it's so special.
I can't say for certain if I want to foster, just because this man, I feel like that would be a tricky thing to start off with, but never say never. But watching you change these dogs' lives definitely makes me want to do it, because I know I have the time. I know I have the patience. Well, I could say that now. I'm not experiencing it. But I think I have the patience to like take care of dogs' needs. And I think that's really what it takes.
It's like, this is not to say me or anyone who fosters is like a saint. Like that's not true. Like, and I get comments like that all the time. Like, oh my, you're a saint. I'm like, it's real. Like, I just don't think it's that hard, to be quite honest. Like I just love dogs so much, and I love taking care of dogs, and I love having a dog, and I already have a dog. Like it kind of is easy for me. And I think for a lot of people, they would find it easy too. But yeah, you definitely need, I think I have the proper expectations. And I think if you go into it with the proper expectations, you'll also find it to be very manageable.
I think with Simon's platform, the way that you show fostering, you make it look easy. And, what you just said, where all you have to do is really love the dog and have patience. I mean, obviously, of course, you have to have the rights-based expectations, kind of supplies, whatever, to be able to foster. But I mean, with Simon's platform, like you really just show that literally anyone can do it. And I think piggybacking off of that, like how did you get started with Simon's account specifically? Like what kind of made you want to create that? What inspired you to grow it?
So I started Simon's account at my old job. I used to work for a dog photographer, and he has a very big platform. And I was fostering Simon. And when I decided to foster fail, I was like, I'm just going to make him an Instagram, and didn't really think much of it. Within 24 hours, I think he had 50,000 followers.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, it was
Really?
crazy. So I kind of stumbled into it. Like, I was always behind the camera, always.
Wait, did you wake up the next morning and were you like, what the fuck?
No, I was, well, yes, but I did it. I remember it so vividly. I decided to adopt him, sent in the papers, went out to get a celebratory drink with my friend, posted posted it on Instagram that I had made this Instagram, and we just sat at the bar, and I had Simon with me. He was chewing a bone under the table, just every time we refreshed it, it was 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers. And I'm we're just what is happening? This is insane. So
What had
it
you
happened
posted?
literally overnight.
I'm
I was
buzzing.
not expecting
What
it.
did you post? You posted on his page that you made an Instagram?
No,
or
on
you
my
posted
on
on your business account.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Wow.
Oh.
Shows that.
So it literally happened overnight. I kind of stumbled into it. I was never a content creator in that sense. I was making content for other brands, but I was never in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I was oh my God, I have to and then it was every day they're where photos of Simon, need to see photos of Simon. I'm okay. So then it just became Simon's account. Nothing really it wasn't a business, or it wasn't it was just photos of Simon. This is before video. If you guys
I feel this is a very common theme. I feel every time we talk to anybody, they say this, oh, I wanted to post pictures of my dog. It wasn't anything serious. And then all of a
No
sudden,
videos.
Yeah, no
yeah,
videos.
it was before, videos were before our time. It was just cute photos.
Mhm.
And that went on for a pretty long time, and I grew a little bit over the years. But again, I didn't put in time and effort to it, because I still had this other job that was that was my job, and I was that was where all my time and energy went to. So I kind of hovered around 80,000 followers for a really long time. And then I left that job a year and a half ago. And since then, it's been now I still work full time, but it's just been a shift of my energy and the time that I'm putting in. And the accounts have more than doubled in that time.
I was gonna say,
And
now you're almost
your
at 300,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your engagement is crazy. Right before we even had this call, me and Jackie were talking about how the engagement has been really messed up right now, maybe because of the election.
Oh, interesting.
But without a doubt, not even talking about views or anything like that, your comments, people are so invested in what's going on, and in a not, I was going to say this before, in a not highlight reel type of way. Instagram, I feel is very curated. Your stuff is very TikTok, but on Instagram, I mean, of course you post on TikTok too, but that's how I view your account, is it's very real. You're sharing, and what we said, it looks easy, but not in oh, it's so easy. Everybody,
not it's perfect.
No,
Yeah,
and a very organic, this is how it is. What you've been seeing before has not been the full picture, and now you're giving the full picture. Like I said, I did TikTok way, because TikTok is very raw, unedited, and I love that you have that on Instagram too, because I think Instagram doesn't always see that type of stuff. So
Well, I use the
that's
same
great.
content. I'm too lazy to
I know,
make new
yeah,
content.
yeah.
But I have something funny to say about that, because I was talking to my mom about this this past weekend, and she's I think people love your account because it's such a backhanded compliment. She's I think people love your account because you get on social media and everyone looks so perfect, and everyone's so beautiful. She's everyone's so beautiful, and their makeup's always done, and she's and you get on. She's my mom is not insulting the way that I look. She's like, tells me I'm beautiful every single day. But she's like,
such a mom thing.
She's like, you get on and you don't even care what you look like. She's like, you just like don't have makeup on. Like you just like get, and she's like, you're just so real. Like I think people really love that. But like, she's like basically telling, which is true. I'm like, I just get on and I'm like, I barely get dressed every day. I like look like shit. And I've had people come up to me in public and be like, wow, you look so much better in person.
Really? I love that though.
I love and hate people.
Okay.
No, but it's like, I think that's it. Where it's like, I'll make a video where I have like the world's largest pimple and I just like don't give a shit. And like, I think everyone should be more like that. It's like, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? And I think dog creators are more likely to be like that because we're just like,
Isabel, I literally I go on camera with a 50-pound dog on my back. I'm sweating absolute balls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come take my bed. Like I look like an ogre.
I think about this pretty regularly. Like we're all stunning and beautiful and gorgeous in our own ways, but I think it's easily digestible to see like women have a hard time relating to somebody who's like picture perfect, even if you shared the exact same stuff that you're sharing, but you were just like dolled up, looking like you're about to go out, like and you're beautiful right now, but like you're putting in the effort to look beautiful. And as women, I know personally, I have a hard time like relating to that because I'm like, this is what I look like. Like I think you're funny, I think you're smart, but like to watch content and see that on the regular, it just internally doesn't make you feel good. And I think that's to be said for all three of our accounts. I don't like what I'm wearing that day is what I'm going to do. Like I'm never going to change my outfit. Yeah. Like, and sometimes I get comments like, oh, you're just trying to show off your butt. I'm like, I'm just a woman with a butt. I'm not
just wearing leggings.
Yeah.
Just wearing leggings. Yes.
Yeah. So, but like, I think about that too, because I'm like, are other women being like, wow, this girl's showing her butt. But like, I try my hardest to not make it like that because to your point, that's such a valid thing is like, you just feel like a friend, like that you're just sitting at home with, talking to. And if it was the other way, I feel like it would have a disconnect. That's what Instagram already does.
That was definitely the overall message of Isabel's mom being like, you are an approachable person who is real. Like you're not some fake,
but in the mom way.
Bitch. Yeah. In the mom way.
Yeah. Like, you just get on the internet. Like you don't even care what you look like. I'm like, I mean, true.
You're like, thanks, mom. But anyway, it obviously works because Simon, has almost 300,000 followers.
Simon just assumes everyone knows his name. Somebody will come up and be like, Simon. And I'm like, he just thinks like everyone on the street knows who he is. And he's like, yeah, this is normal.
They should.
I deserve this.
Yeah, if they don't, they suck. But yeah.
I didn't know that about your Instagram, you starting it there, because I found you on TikTok like so many years ago. I literally think that you had like 20 videos up. Something came up. It was like a viral video around that time. And I loved it. And I think I recreated it. Like I went to your page and saved it so I could be like inspired by you. And I forget what it was. You were in it. And it was really funny. And you had like only a few videos. And then I know I had followed you, but TikTok, you lose track of people. And then the next time I had seen you, I think you were getting like going through a breakup. You shared something else about that, like one of your voiceover thing. And I looked at your accounts and you were like huge. And I was like, what the heck? Like I found you when you only had like a few thousand followers on TikTok. And then I came back and I was like, wait, has she been like big this whole time? Because then I was like, oh my God, like, no, so cool. This was a long time ago.
I remember TikTok has been a weird journey for me because my first like 2 viral videos were, one was like an apartment tour. And then the second one was that breakup video that you're talking about. And so like I gained a following because of my apartment tour and my breakup video. But like I'm like a dog account. I share other things, of course, but like, so then I gained this following for those 2 things. So people are like, oh, she's going to share like apartment decorating videos. I'm like, I'm not going to share apartment decorating videos. Oh, she's going to share more about her breakup. I was not going to share more about my breakup. So I was like, I gained this audience, and then I started posting dogs, and they're like, oh, we don't care about this. So my engagement was actually really low for a really long time because it was like I had gained this like following, but it wasn't, they didn't care about what I was actually posting about.
The beauty of TikTok.
I know TikTok's
I'm
so
actually
weird.
gonna do a quick scroll back because it's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah.
If you see me looking
No,
down,
I'm actually
just
curious
like,
as to what this video is.
While Galen's doing like a self-search journey.
yeah,
through
I
her
heard not
TikTok
be able to have
videos.
have a normal conversation without knowing.
No, yeah, TikTok. Sometimes TikTok can like just screw off. But so now you going back to Simon's account being a much bigger focus than it was. You work for The Wildest.
Actually, The Wildest rebranded to be Kinship.
Oh my God, Kinship. Okay,
Oh, it's called
Kinship
Kinship.
now.
You did
Kinship,
work, or
and
you
then-
do?
I do.
Oh, you did.
So you work for
So
Kinship.
and Kinship and Adopted Pet are the same. They're the same brand.
They're like yes, they're like under the same umbrella.
yes,
So
I
you
work
do
for them.
social media for them,
yes,
and you do Simon's account.
yes.
Oh my God!
And you're
she
starting
wrote
a
a book. And
book.
she wrote a book.
Yeah.
She literally is doing. I don't know, like how you do that. So how is that balance of working for another company's social media page and Simon's account and writing a book? And we're gonna touch on the book after this. But what has that been like? And fostering. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. How do you balance that? What has it been like?
It's been. It's so funny because I feel like I'm talking to you and like I feel like everything is coming to a head right now. So like the real answer is like I'm not really sure how it's all happening.
After this, she's gonna have a mental breakdown.
No, seriously, I've been on the cusp. I'm like feeling it coming. So I started freelancing like a year and a half ago, and that was like gearing up for that was, you know, I was really scrappy. I was like doing like a million different things. I was making good money, but like not like the best money. And then it all has kind of like fallen into place. Like I got a manager who has made my life so much easier. And
Amazing.
then I still
For brand deals?
technically freelancing at Kinship, but I work full-time hours. So then my freelancing job turned into kind of a full-time job, and it's like steady money, which is amazing. And then in April, I got reached out to from a literary agent. So then that whole journey started, and it's just been like one thing on top of another, and then fostering, and so balancing it all has been difficult. I try to keep a strict schedule. I try to do like my my full-time job from like 9 to 3, and then I try to write from 3 to 5, and then so I wake up at 7:30, and then I do all of Simon's stuff. I post my video for Simon. I edit whatever. So then 7:30 to 9, that's what I'm doing. 9 to 4, I am doing my regular job. 4 to like 6, I am writing. And then in between then, I'm taking care of the dogs.
And like going to the bathroom.
So do you
Eating?
sleep?
And yeah,
I sleep
sleeping?
a lot. I love sleep.
Oh, sleeping.
I found the video. It was
Wait, I'm like actually nervous.
no, it's good. It was you guys were raised by Karens, but Simon was raised by like literally was saved. The girl in her 20s
yes,
who
I
made her
remember
dog
that.
her entire personality. I was like, that's
Show it
so
to the
funny.
screen. Show it to the screen.
There's
I wanna see the
also-
cover.
I need to turn the
Sometimes I
audio
see
up.
my old videos and I like cringe. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I
I
hate
do
scrolling
too.
back. I hate scrolling back.
But then this one was saved too. I know I didn't recreate this one, but I remember looking at your page at this time being like, she seems quite like her. But this one, us today at 28 and 3 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, your hair's short. That's so funny.
Oh my God, little baby.
Look at the
But this is the
baby
one that I was
name.
saying before.
Baby
Yes.
Simon was a
Song.
cult.
Oh, I'll do it here. I freaking loved it.
Oh
Wait,
my
I
God.
should
I know
remake
what-
that. That's
I
a good
know.
video.
Yeah, I know I recreated this.
Wait,
Yeah.
Good job,
First of all,
Fast
baby.
Isabel.
Baby Simon would have a cult following if he like
Literally.
that.
He
I mean,
just-
He
I
literally
just-
looks like a puppy.
This morning I posted on TikTok, I posted a puppy Simon
I need
thing.
to go check that out.
Here's
after this.
that was like pretty soon after actually the Empty Studio tour, 3 million views.
Yeah, that was like, and everyone's like, oh my God, she's gonna be like an interior decorator. And I was like, no.
And you're like, my
Absolutely
dog is
not.
cute, and I'm gonna be posting videos of him.
Also, that breakup video just came up for me recently because it's like, you know how TikTok does like, 3 years ago today, and I watched it, and I also like cringed because I'm sure you guys do this too. Like my microphone setup was so different, and I'm like, you can hear me like breathing heavily. I'm like,
I'm gonna listen to it after.
the hell. And also, it's so funny because that breakup video is about my breakup with my current boyfriend.
Shut
Wait,
up!
is
I'm
it?
screaming.
I did not realize that. I thought it was a different guy.
No, it's this guy.
It's so
That's
interesting.
so
Everyone's
good.
like, girl power. Like, yeah, you don't need him. And I'm like, well,
Actually,
That's so interesting.
actually, I did.
you can have a change of heart. So
Yeah.
But anyway,
Actually, that's so interesting. Like, I'm not like creeping on your life, but I feel like I told you, I've been following you for a long time, that I feel like I've gotten a gist of what your life is like.
you should use
And-
your social security number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're with. But when you did that breakup and then you moved into the house that you just said you moved into, and you had this boyfriend, and you were like, at some point how long you been together, I was like, what?
You're like, huh?
Like, I was like, am I doing the math? Like, but not that I care, but I remember being like, I think I know her life pretty well. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, we broke up
never
for
gonna
One of my
ask
best
you.
friends, and she would have
told me.
Yeah, exactly.
We broke up for 4 months. And so like at first when people would be like, oh, how long have you been together? Would be like, oh, 2 years minus 4 months. Now it's been like long enough that we just like delete it from our history. We're like, we don't have to talk about it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Okay.
cares?
Okay.
But going back to balancing your amazing, incredible, crazy foster life, this book. Can you talk about this book? Because you just hard launched it, like a week ago? You made a video
like
about it? Or
2
post
weeks
about it?
ago, I think.
2 weeks ago? Yeah, like explain that process, explain the book, the inspiration. Like I'm really curious.
So writing a book has always been like my greatest dream.
Oh, and your parents are writers, correct?
Yes. So my mom they're both retired now, but my mom was a 7th grade English teacher, public school teacher. And my dad is a journalist. And my brother writes for Rolling Stone and is a novelist as well.
So cool.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
being at the dinner table with this family? They would be like,
I would
speaking
feel
in
like
proper
a
English.
stupid child.
They would be
Hello,
like speaking.
I read.
Me and Galen, like I would not like
Yeah.
Galen and
Yeah,
I like
got it.
Yeah.
And like it's always been my greatest dream. I went to school for writing. I was an English look at me. I'm like, I studied words. English and creative writing major. And then as most things go, I graduated and got a job, and like my dreams got pushed to the side, and I just like I still wrote, but it was not like at the forefront of my mind, or I was like considering it as a potential career because like writers just don't make any money. So then when I started like really sharing things on my TikTok and my Instagram like a year and a half ago, I started like doing these voiceovers of like snippets of my writing, and it like really resonated with people, which I love sharing my fostering because that's my passion. But like that sharing my voiceovers and my pieces of my writing was really like meaningful to me. And that was like, it just like meant a lot to me that
for your account too. Like it's definitely fostering and that. Like I said that I think about that for your account too.
Yeah. And it was very meaningful that it that people connected to it. So that was very exciting. And then, like I said, I got an email in April from a literary agent, and not just any literary agent. Like she's at like a top 10 agency, and she's amazing. Like she's literally my fairy godmother. I love her so much. And
wait, first of all, congratulations. We just like forgot to even say congratulations.
It was implied. It's okay.
Just huge congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's super sick.
So yeah, we met and it was like love at first sight. We were obsessed with each other. And so she was like, okay, this is how it works. Like usually, and I didn't know any of this. And I'm assuming you guys don't either because like the literary world is just like,
I don't know where
complete mystery to me. But apparently if you write fiction, you have to write a full manuscript and you have to write a full book and then you submit it. If you're writing nonfiction, you could just write a book proposal and then submit it. So she said, write this book proposal and then we can decide if we're on the same page, if we want to move forward together or whatever. So it was like 2 weeks into it. I wrote like an intro and I sent it to her and she was like, fuck it. I want to sign you right now. And I was like, okay. So then we signed, I finished the book proposal early September. She sent it out to editors. I got a couple offers for a book deal and I signed.
And what did the offers mean? They're just promising you they'll get you in these stores, or
they're basically like a book deal offer is like a publishing house. So like the big ones like, you know, Penguin Random House or HarperCollins or Simon & Schuster, like they have imprints. And then I mean there are other like those aren't the only publishing houses, obviously. There's like smaller ones, whatever. And then they will make offers. So basically then you choose, they'll make like a cash offer and then you choose what deal you want to go with, meaning like what editor, what publisher, what imprint. And then you make that decision and then you have to write a book.
I don't know if this is allowed, but can you tell us maybe like your favorite part that you've written or like a little kind of sneak peek of what people might find?
Yeah. So the book is called, I love the title. The book is called Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About. And
it reminds me of Angus Thongs and Perfect Snowman for some reason. I love it.
Yeah. It's like kind of a long title. I'm like, whatever. I love it.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. And it is about my 20s in New York City. I moved to New York City when I was 20 exactly. And I'm 31 now. And my 20s in New York City, my relationships, my friendships, all told through the scope of my relationship with dogs. So my fostering dogs, my career with dogs, my own dog, Simon. I think my favorite part will probably be talking about my relationship with Simon. I think that's like going to be, I don't know, the most like for me, the most touching part of it. But I'm just, I'm so excited for all of it. Like every time I write a chapter, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for people to read this. Like I'm so excited about it. It's just been a really fun process. It's going to come out in 2026.
Oh, I'm going to get that shit right off the shelf. I'm so excited. I can't freaking wait.
But it's not, you know, it's all up in the air. But yeah, probably like a year and a half.
I'm so excited.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to even feel like that for you. It's going to, the next year and a half is going to be like freaking no time at all.
Well, that's what my agent is like. I know it sounds like a long time because I feel like things in the social media world are so instant and like, a brand is like, make this video tomorrow and we're gonna like, it's like so crazy. And she's like, I know it feels like a long time, but it's gonna fly by. And like, you know, more time is better when you're writing a book. It's not like something you can do overnight.
Yeah. So to end this incredible episode, can you give one, I know this is like really on the spot, can you give one piece of advice for someone in their 20s living in a city with a dog? You know, what's one thing that you learned?
Oh man. Well, I just posted a video the other day and I really feel this. Like I tell everybody, my boyfriend has 3 younger sisters. I tell them, date as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Like have experiences, live your life. Like don't feel pressure to like figure it all out. It's all going to work out. And the video I posted the other day is this video of myself from 5 years ago. And I couldn't have predicted where I would be today. Like I could not have. And the caption of that video was all the boys that you date in your 20s are just stories for your future memoir. And like, I just feel like everything that happens when you're young, and I'm sure I'll feel this way when I'm old too, it's like, even if it's bad, even if it hurts, even if it's hard, it is going to be a good story one day. And just try to like be in the moment and feel those emotions, and like, just don't turn away from it and don't feel bad about it. And it's just part of life, and it's part of growing, and it's part of living, and enjoy every second of it.
Wow. Spoken from a true writer. Jesus Christ.
Literally.
Almost just fucking
Me and Jackie, but then like, I didn't remember.
Don't take the fish shot.
Just take I learned.
Or what? Yeah, we're not. Anyway, thank you so much, Isabel, for coming on Bark Chat Podcast. You're incredible, and we can't wait. Wow, we can't wait to read your book. If I could speak English,
We can't wait.